Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, we meet today. We are going to look at, we are going to continue with the contract of purchase and sale. And after having looked at the duty of passing of risk, which is the seller's duty, under the seller's duty to safekeep the thing, we are going to look at other duties of the seller. We are going to start with delivery. A seller has to deliver the thing to the buyer. But already we have discussed earlier on the forms of delivery. Remember the 7 forms of delivery, the 7 forms which are actual delivery, the delivery with shorthand, constitutum possessorium, atonement, delivery through marking, and symbolic delivery. All these, there are 7 forms of delivery. So we are not going to waste time on the delivery. We are going to move on to another duty of the seller, which is the warranty against eviction. Warranty against eviction. And what is the warranty against eviction? What is eviction? I know most of you know eviction in these contracts, where you're saying, okay, maybe the lessee has been evicted, but eviction is much broader than that. So eviction is any action by a third party who has a better right in the thing sold that deprives the buyer of the total or partial use and enjoyment and disposal of the thing sold. So if the buyer has been deprived maybe of that particular thing he has bought, we say that he has been evicted. So there are forms of eviction. Number 1, when true owner of the thing sold claims his property from the buyer. For instance, this is a situation where X, right, he has stolen a property belonging to Y, right? He has stolen property. X is the owner. X is a thief, then steals from Y. Now he has property belonging to Y in his possession. So we can say that if Y sees this property in possession of X, then he can institute a claim called a claim using a remedy called re vindicatio. Re vindicatio. So Y can claim his property from X. So when Y has taken that property from X, we say that X has been evicted. He has been evicted. Number 2, a third party obtains possession of the property and the buyer cannot claim this property from the third party due to a defective title. Let's say you buy something from Mkambo in Makokoba there, or you buy from Mari. Okay, you buy something and you're not sure whether the person that you bought this thing from is the true owner. Let's say that then somebody else, a third party, comes to take that particular thing from you, and you are failing to prove that you are the owner of the thing. Okay, so we say that you have been evicted in a way because you cannot go to court and claim claim ownership of that particular thing. So we say that you have been evicted as the buyer. Again, number 3, another form of eviction is in terms of the rule, lease goes before sale. Okay, there is a phrase there, Hurkat Vurkup principle. To use that, they call it Who Have Cook principle. Right. What are we saying? We are saying that lease goes before sale. Lease takes precedence over sale. For instance, if you are renting out your house and there are tenants there, then you decide to sell the same house to someone else. Law says that in terms of this principle, you have to allow the lessee to finish off his period of lease. For instance, if he has been given 2 years, the 2 years must lapse before the new owner can take possession of the whole house. So the lessee is not supposed to be evicted from the house without any consent from him. So we are saying that this person has bought property. The new owner now has bought property right from the seller, but he cannot take occupation of this property because there is a sitting tenant in that house. So we are saying the new owner has been evicted by the tenant because he does not have full use and enjoyment of his property which he has bought. So you understand that one. Number 4, we are saying a holder of a limited real right, e.g. the right of way, because we talked about this right earlier on when we were discussing servitudes, that someone can have a right of way over someone's property. So we are saying that if you are having a right over someone's property, it may be a right of way, it might be a mineral right, it might be even a water servitude. So we are saying that the true owner now, the owner of that property, does not have full use and enjoyment of his property because he has to allow people to use the same property. Okay, so he does not have full use and enjoyment. Right? What can the buyer do when eviction is imminent? You can read through. There is no problem with that. Now, let's move on to another duty of the seller, which is warranty against latent defects. What is the warranty against latent defect? What is the latent defect? The latent defect is that defect that cannot be seen upon reasonable inspection of the max. You cannot see it. You are looking at the outside of the max and everything seems to be in order. But there will be a latent defect inside. It's hidden defect. So we are saying that the seller has to warranty that there are no defect in that thing being sold. So it's the duty, it's an implied duty. Once you enter into a contract of purchase and sale, that duty is implied. Without even parties agreeing to it, it will be part and parcel of that particular agreement, except if it has been excluded by parties themselves. Okay, that's why if you buy a fridge which is malfunctioning, you take it back to the store. Okay, because you'll be enforcing this particular principle that the seller has to warranty that his products are of good quality and they do not have any hidden defects. So if they do have hidden defects, that means it's a breach of warranty or a breach of contract which you are entitled to sue as the consumer. So this is another duty of the seller, to warranty against latent defect. Ladies and gentlemen, sometimes I have seen people using the footstools clause. Footstools. That's not a magic word. Footstools. You say, okay, I'm selling this thing, footstools. It's not a magic word. It is not going to protect you if you knew of the defect. Some people, they know of the defect. For instance, they know that, okay, a car or the engine has some defect, but they don't disclose that to the buyer and they just put a footstool clause. That footstool clause will not protect you. Footstool means as is. You are selling the thing as it is. So it will only protect you if you did not know about the defect. But if you knew about the defect, then it will not protect you. You will still be held liable for those defects. So it's not a magic word. For instance, now we move on to the remedies. What are the remedies now that you have been sold something which is malfunctioning, a computer which is malfunctioning, or a washing machine which does not work? Okay, now what are your remedies as the buyer? There are three remedies. There are three remedies. The actio empty remedy, and two ad deletion remedies. Ad deletion remedies. Under ad deletion remedies, we have actio redebitoria and actio quanti minoris. So these are the two ad deletion remedies. So let me explain actio empty. What is actio empty? So you can institute an action using actio empty where you have a defect, something, you have bought something with a defect. So you can go to court and institute actio empty. Okay, so the grounds for justice for institution of actio empty are also listed in the slides. But what do you claim with the actio empty? Number one, you claim cancellation of the contract. Cancellation of contract. Right. You want this contract cancelled with actio empty. And then, secondly, you claim damages. Damages. In law, you suffer damage and claim damages. So, you are saying that now I don't need this defective thing and I want cancellation of the contract, because you're saying this is so serious, the defect is so serious that a reasonable person cannot be expected to keep the same thing. Okay, so it's so defective that it cannot be used. So the best remedy is to cancel the contract and claim damages. Damages to be placed in the position you would have been had the contract not been breached. Okay, so this is what you claim using actio empty. This is the only remedy you can claim damages. So if you want damages, if I give you a scenario in the exam and it is clear that the other party suffered damages, so don't go for the ad deletion actions, they won't help you. Please go for the actio empty where you can claim damages. Okay, let's move on to ad deletion remedies. Ad deletion remedies, under ad deletion remedies we have actio redebitoria and actio quanti minoris. What is actio redebitoria? Actio with there are grounds of justice, there are grounds of institution of these ad deletion remedies which you can read. They are almost similar as to those grounds for actio empty. But now, what is significant about actio redebitoria is that you claim restitution. Right, redebitoria, you claim restitution. Right, to be taken back to the position you were before. Right, so this is what you claim. I say, okay, may I be restituted? May I be taken back to the position I was before? Right, so you're asking the other party to restitute. Okay, to restitute. So we then we have actio quanti minoris. Actio quanti minoris is when you are saying, okay, I'm keeping this thing with a defect. I'm deciding to keep this thing with a defect, but then I will go for reduction of the amount, reduction of the purchase price. When you are saying, I paid $10,000 for this car with a defect. Now that I've discovered there is a defect in it, this car costs $5,000. So you are claiming $5,000 back. So this is actio quanti minoris. It's a reduction on the purchase price of the thing. Retibitoria, you want reduction of with retibitoria, actio retibitoria, you want restitution. You want to be taken back to the position you were. Okay, this is when maybe you are surrendering the thing and saying, okay, I want restitution. I want maybe $4,000, which is the cost of this thing, and you are surrendering that particular thing, and you want your money back. You are saying, I don't want your fridge anymore. Give me my money. So that's retibitoria, restitution. Okay? Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.